welcome to my channel. This is Ruben from Dutch Round 1, and today we will be speaking about the conjugation of verbs in Dutch. I'll give you a little introduction, then I'll explain to you how we find the base of the verb, and afterwards I will show you how to conjugate verbs in Dutch. And then at the end, I just want to speak about 2 or 3 small things which you have to be careful of if you are conjugating your verbs in Dutch. But before all that, thanks for visiting my channel. Again, do not forget to subscribe, give it a like. It's completely free and it helps out the channel. So without further ado, let's move on to the introduction of the Dutch verb. Okay, I'll quickly open up this slideshow, make it a little bit bigger. There you go. And then basically we'll start off with the introduction. Now, Dutch verb conjugation is pretty straightforward. We will only adapt the verb in the singular and the plural will not be changed. It will be conjugated as the infinitive. Now, what is the infinitive? It is the verb in its purest form. On the next slide, I'll get back to that. So that's good news. And then most of the verbs in Dutch, they will end on en. That way, it's quite easy to recognize a verb in the Dutch language. And in order to start the conjugation process in Dutch, we have to find the base of the verb. Now, how do we do that? I'll tell you now. So how to find the base of the verb? Well, since most of the verbs, not all of them, but most of them, they end on en. Okay? So how do we find the base of the verb? Well, basically, we take away en. So as you can see, the base of the verb werken, which means to work, becomes werk. The base of the verb wandelen, which means to walk, becomes wandel. And the base of the verb starten becomes start, which means to start. So this is how you find the base of the verbs which end on en. Some verbs in Dutch, however, end with an or oen. So how do we find the base of the verb? Well, basically we take away n. So the base of the verb gaan, which means to go, is ga. Now you'll ask me the question, Ruben, why isn't, if you say that we have to take away n, why aren't there 2 a's in ga? Well, basically the rule says if a vowel is written and it's not followed by anything else, like a consonant, like an n, like a d, like a t, and so on, we pronounce it long. So it doesn't matter when there's 1 or 2. That's why you only see 1a over there. And then do is pretty straightforward. Doen is the verb, you take away n, and then the base of the verb doen, which is to do, in English will be do. Okay, so let's take a closer look to the conjugation. Well, what you see in front of there on this slide is basically het werkwoord, that means the verb. Presens means the present tense. So today we're focusing on the conjugation of the verbs in the present tense. Now we have 3 verbs there. We have kijken, which means to watch. We have nemen, which means to take. And we have liggen, which means to lie down. Okay? The 4th name, which you see in the dark blue box, that is infinitive. Infinitive means in English infinitive. And what is that? Well, it's basically the verb in its purest form. So the verb ending on en or an or oen. Okay? So we found a way already to know what the base of the verb is. So we'll start with the left verb. We'll start with kijken. So we find the base of the verb, we take away en, and we remain with kijk. What is kijk? Kijk is the base of the verb, and the base of the verb will always be the first form in the singular. So I watch is ik kijk. What do we do in the second and in the third singular? As you can see, je, jij kijkt, u kijkt, hij kijkt, ze, zij kijkt. That's it. So the singular is the only part of the Dutch verbs which gets conjugated. The plural, as you can see, is kijken, kijken, and kijken. So that's the infinitive. Doesn't change. So the only part where you have to be careful is the singular. So again, base of the verb. You take away en, you've got your first form. You've got your I form. For the second form, pretty straightforward. You just add a T. Alright? Same thing with nemen. Same thing with leggen. Now, as you can see with nemen, we add an E there. So nemen, if you look at the verb, it's N-E-M-E-N. So you look at the base of the verb, you take away en, and then normally the base of the verb would need to be nem. Why do we have to add an extra vowel? I'll get back to this. Okay? Next slide, I'll speak about this. I just want you to notice it right now. And then we have the verb leggen, same thing. We take away en, we find the base of the verb, but instead of two consonants, instead of two G's, as you can see, there is only one. Well, why? I'll speak about this right now. Okay, so now we're going to speak about those verbs such as nemen, right? Where we add an extra vowel. Okay, so the verbs are spelen, lopen, and praten. Now, you can see the verb on your left side, and on your right side, you will see the base of the verb. You will see speel, not spel. You will see loop, not lop. You will see praat, not prat. So you notice that sound is long, okay? Now, if we pronounce the verbs again, spelen, lopen, praten, that is also long. So if the infinitive has a long sound, that long sound has to be repeated while conjugating the verb. Okay? So when you say spelen, you have to make sure that the base of your verb is also long. So that is why you add an extra vowel. Why do you need that extra vowel? Again, you look for the base of the verb, you take away en, you see spel. Spel, vowel, which is followed by one single consonant, is pronounced short, and you would say spell. So you want to make it long, so what do? You add an extra vowel. Okay? If you want more information of this, I also made a video about pronunciation rules in Dutch. Please check it out, and then this video will make it a bit clearer for you. As for the next one, when to leave out a consonant during the conjugation. Again, on the left side, you have your Dutch verbs, bakken, to bake, leggen, to lie down, rollen, to roll. Okay, now we go to the right side, you see bak is the base of the verb, not bak with two K's. Leg is the base of the verb in the second case, not leg with two G's. Roll is the base of the verb in the third case, and not roll with two L's. Why? Well, basically, again, we look for the base of the verb, we take away that en, and we see bakk. Now, pronunciation of the vowel, which you see in bakken, which is an A, will not change if you have one or two consonants following. It will be short anyway. So, we like to be economic, and we take one of these K's away. That's it, nothing more to it. Now, while conjugating the verbs in Dutch, you have to be careful of two things. First of all, I want to speak about u, okay? U is the formal form, okay? What is a formal form? It's basically, you will be formal when you address older people, VIPs, CEOs of companies, politicians, and so on, okay? So you will use u, okay? When you use u, it does not matter when you speak to one person or whether you speak to 50 persons. Imagine you speak to one VIP, you will say u loopt, which means you run. But if you speak to 50 politicians and you want to address them formally and you want to tell them that they are running or that they run, you will also say u loopt, okay? Very important. Like for instance in French, if you want to be formal, you will say vous courez. Doesn't matter if it's one person or 20 persons, there it's always conjugated in the plural. In Dutch, it's the other way around, okay? One person, 50 persons, you want to address them formally, you will conjugate that verb in the singular. So take note of that. And then secondly, inversion. Okay, now what is inversion? Also, I've made a video about this. If you want some more information, please check out that video. But what is inversion? Inversion is basically when we put the verb in front of the subject. Okay? For instance, in a question, are you tired? Ben je moe? Okay? Now you will have noticed that when you say you are, you will say je bent. Okay, that T is there. But when I say are you, then I say ben je. Okay, so now that T is gone. So what is the difference? Well, if there's inversion, only with the personal pronouns jij and je, you will take away that T. And why do we do that? Well, we do that because the pronunciation sounds better. So be very careful of that. If you ask a question or you use inversion and you put your verb in front of the personal pronoun jij or je, you will take away that T. Very important. Okay guys, that's it. That's the conjugation of the verbs in Dutch. It's pretty straightforward. Think about the plural. You don't have to change anything, just the infinitive. Singular, base of the verb first form, and the second and the third form, you just add a T to the base of the verb. Be careful of u. Be careful of inversion with jij and je, and you should be sorted. Guys, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you get some value out of it. I hope you learned some new things, or I hope you improved your Dutch a little bit by watching this video. I want to thank you again. Remember, if you like this video, subscribe for more content, give it a like, helps me out, and it's completely for free. And then as always, keep it 100, stay tuned, and have a great day.